Okay, and we're back. Just wait for confirmation that it's working, and then we'll get underway. Ugh. Sort of feedback from the what's going on here? Sorry, I have my chat. I have the chat open on my laptop here, and it is misbehaving. Okay, there we go. All good. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. I guess I'll go full screen for this. Actually, it doesn't even matter. It's not about the pretty visuals this time. Hi everybody. It's been a while since I've streamed. It's been a while since I've done a development update or anything. I am still working on Autobiographical Architecture Volume 1. Progress has been up and down, I would say. There's sort of some interesting creative challenges and just, I don't know. Last week, I had an idea, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, that would be cool, and I'll bet it wouldn't be that difficult for me to try to rig up. And so I did. So I spent a few days and a couple of days this week polishing it. Well, not polishing it, just getting it working enough that I could call it a serviceable prototype that I could play and see if it's fun. All right. Let me think how to explain this. So, late in Bioshock 1's development, I was playing around with the game. I was playing my own level, and I was playing through other people's levels and looking for stuff that we could fix. And I played through the game once using only indirect damage, as much as I could. There's like a few cases where you have to damage, like the first guy that comes at you when you only have the wrench. You've got to damage him with the wrench, and there's no two ways about it. But I had a lot of fun just using the plasmids Enrage, Decoy, Security Beacon, and I think Hypnotize Big Daddy. And yeah, it was really fun, and it, drew a crowd at times, and I got all the way to the end of the game, and I remember the final boss fight being a heck of a time with that strategy. But anyway, I thought about that recently, and I was like, hey, I now know enough. I've been learning this kind of Doom, like for autobiographical architecture, I've been learning how to script and implement various wacky things, and in ZDoom, basically, this modifiable, cool version of Doom. And I was like, I'll bet I could rig that up. So let me just jump in here. The thing that you start with, so yeah, like what if, so you'll note that I have a number of weapons. This is all using placeholder visuals, I should also say. So like this, you were seeing like Doom guy's hand here. These are temp visuals, and it's going to be a little bit confusing. If you look in the lower right corner here, you can see like the different, which attack I have selected versus what I have ammo for and all that. I'll try to explain stuff as I go along too. So this first thing that I've implemented is just an equivalent of Bioshock 1's Enrage plasmid. So I hit this guy with it, and he immediately begins attacking the other opponent nearest me, and then starts paying attention to me again. These are super weak enemies, so I can kind of let them plink at me for a while. More enemies came down the hall. I can also enrage them, and then they start dropping. And now I'm in a bit of a fix because, okay, well, except for friendly fire, I've still got this one guy, and I can't do any direct damage. I don't have the pistol. My fists don't work the way that they should in Bioshock, that they should in regular Doom. So one of the abilities that I added was, actually, I'll get to that in a bit. Let me just move on here. So yeah, we've got this hallway full of enemies here, and let's say that if this hallway were narrower, I wouldn't be able to get by one enemy that's advancing on me. So I added this ability to temporarily go into like a ghost mode where you disable your collision. And I turn the screen like that amber color when we do that, just so that you can tell very clearly that that's what's going on. And this might be a bit hard to make out on the stream, but when you've got this thing enabled, that purple number on the right side of the screen here, is going down, so just signifying that it's like a limited charge. Again, this is a prototype UI, so like if this were a real, if I decided I wanted to turn this into a real mod with real art and sound effects and all that kind of stuff, then I would definitely do like a custom HUD and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Okay, so far so good. I've got Enrage. I can sort of, work my way through the game. I can get past some of these enemies, but that's not very exciting just by itself. And I can phase through this enemy and like be able to. That lets me get. That lets me, hit switches or just get through progression critical things. And then I come out to here, and this is my little placeholder weapon and ammo pickup thing. I guess it's like, I've been thinking of it as like it's a spell and you're collecting mana for it, but weapon, ammo, spell, mana, same diff. So I started thinking of this in terms of like Doom, and I was like, okay, what do some of the Doom monsters do and stuff like that? Well, Archviles can raise up enemies. They can raise enemies from the dead. And so when I raise these enemies, they fight for me now, and they've got a little, this is also a placeholder visual, but they've got a little yellow skull over their head to show that they are on my side. So that's pretty cool. And I've got like I've recovered 3 little mana dealies for that. And now I've got an imp who fights for me. And that imp will whoop on people. And then enemies fighting each other, like my friendly monsters fighting each other like that, will create more corpses that I can use to resurrect people even further. Alright, yeah, these guys can get a piece. So I've got this little, like, bodyguard retinue of imps. You guys want to follow me down the hall here? Cool. And yeah, this is all just kind of, built-in Doom AI type stuff with Z-Doom's, like, sort of more generalized treatment for enemies. I can make these guys fight each other. Can raise them up. And I was like, well, one thing about this is that the player is very fragile. And I was like, yeah, what should I do about that? Well, what if I gave the player a higher maximum health? And so the player can continue collecting. You might have noticed the player can continue collecting health pickups well beyond the normal 100. Oh yeah, cool. And here's another weapon, quote unquote, that is called Freeze. And I've kind of cleaned out this level of enemies, so I'm going to move on to level 3 actually, because I think it's probably one of the best test beds for this. So yeah, I can collect these medkits even though I'm up above 100 health, just because I figured player is... I wanted health resources to still mean something, and yeah. Hello, Danny. Yes, this is a mod where you make monsters in fight. Let me change... Let's see. Is it change map? Let me change map to map 3 just because it's a little bit more interesting than map 2. Potentially. For showing this off. Okay, so... When I first come into a room, it's pretty tough. Alright, I'm slowly building up my little army of buds here. I'm collecting a little bit more resurrect mana. Got this group of enemies here. So it starts to feel like, when you go into a new area where you don't have any allies, where you don't have any friendly monsters. Oh dear. You sort of feel like you're taking territory. Like you go in and getting that first kill that you can raise up and then start using for further shenanigans is kind of difficult But then as you win more and more of a room, you're raising up. You have more corpses to raise up, and eventually the tide turns. And that's kind of a cool feeling. So I like that about it. Also, when you've got another reason that I realized that the phase through things ability was kind of nice is because if you have all these like buddies with you, then you know, they get in you collide with them, they get in your way, and so being able to phase through them is kind of nice. The other thing that I added, just because I was thinking like, okay, there's going to be some situations where phasing through an enemy is not a great option, and like you can't really do anything with them, maybe because they're solitary or something like that. So what if I gave the player like a shield that is also like charge limited use, and it lets them deflect enemy projectiles back at them? Because I was also thinking about, okay, well, what about the final boss of Episode 2 in the original Doom, E2M8, where you've got the Cyber Demon? That level is basically just you versus the Cyber Demon, and how do you defeat the Cyber Demon all by your lonesome? Well, the answer is you have this deflector shield, and you've got to use it kind of carefully and sparingly, but you can actually prevail against... yeah, so yeah, these two, so phase and shield are like innate, and they're charge-based, like the charge will replenish, whereas these other things kind of require ammo, mana, whatever. Okay, anyway, I've just been toying with these imps in the distance here, but I'm gonna start this brawl in earnest here. And we've also got these rather nasty chain gunners down here. Okay, so let me start raising up some imps, so I'll have like a little retinue of them. Alright, and they're going to start chucking fireballs across the way. Let me see if I can get some infighting going on this side. Oh, and I am out of enrage mana. That stinks. Did anybody drop some, or... Oh dear, this is going to be interesting. Yep. As in regular Doom, the chain gunners will really tear you up. Okay, there we go. I've got some enrage. What I would love to do here is get these two to fight each other. There we go. Oh dear. Okay, so, alright, cool. Now I've got two chain gunners on my side, and that's super good. So they can hopefully take care of some of these jerks. Oh gosh. I am lucky that that chain gunner did not take an interest in me. Wow, my health is really low. I'm not sure what I should do about that. So somebody asks... Does the shield reflect hit scan attacks? No, it does not. It just blocks them. Because I'm using the reflective property from Hexen. Danny says, yeah, like, Danny brings up a good idea, being able to just actually summon in monsters. I do think that is really cool, and maybe that is a possible next step for this. Okay, so I've managed to, like, take, you know, a lot of this territory here. Okay, and now I've got... Okay, I think... There are specters down in this hole here, and they are pretty tough customers, and I don't really want to go down there if I can avoid their... Yeah, this is... Okay, actually, I'm just gonna phase and go down here and pick up the other weapon, Decoy. Now, this doesn't do that much on its own. It's basically like Bioshock's Decoy, and other enemies will attack it, and and it creates a little image of the regular Doom player. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I've still got these guys in here to worry about. Okay, I've got a little more resurrect mana now. But I found this, as I was playing with this and implementing it, I found it kind of interesting. Yeah, just how, like, levels that are really trivial in regular Doom become a lot more difficult in... Oh dear. Can you all take care of? Okay, yeah. In this case, they're not necessarily doing what I really want them to, but that's fine. Man, I could do for some health. Alright. Ariana got some health. It's all good. Alright. Okay, so now I'm building up a decent little army of shotgun guys. Oh dear. I'm having to play a bit more boringly and conservatively since they've there we go. Oh dear. Yep, I died. You know, I'm just gonna resurrect, even though it's a cheese ball move. Do something about that chain gunner. This is brutal. There you go. Good job. Okay. Cool. Hi there. Yes, for folks just joining, this is a mod for Doom where you cannot deal any direct damage. You can make enemies fight each other, you can create a decoy distraction temporarily, and then you can resurrect dead monsters to fight for you. And that's what I've done here. All these people with yellow skulls above their heads are on my team. They love it. They're chilling out. Alright, so yeah, yeah, we've got this area right here. I can make those two fight each other, tie them up a little bit. Got to get this red key here. And that will show you a little bit more what decoy, like everybody starts, yeah, everybody starts attacking that. And one of the things that I do with decoy is that normally there are some species of Doom monster that will not fight each other if they damage each other. Like imps, for instance, they can just throw fireballs into each other's backs all day, and if they're on the same team, then they will not take damage, and they'll just not they won't start infighting or anything. So decoy makes everybody within its radius like able to hurt each other, so that like groups of imps, say, will indeed infight and stuff. So yeah, get him. Okay, let me move to a level where things get a little more... things get a little more wacky. Alright. Alright, so now we're in map 16, the suburbs. It is a big open level, and it has an arch file. And that arch file is a big problem at first, because it can just run around and cast fire at us. So I'll get a bunch of imps infighting by putting down a decoy in the midst of them. And they hate that. They're fighting each other. This arch file is still somewhere around here. hitting me with its fire. That's not a good time. But some of these dead imps are dropping res ammo. Oh dear. Ow. And I can start to raise up a little army of imps. Okay, so I've got kind of a presence in this area. And meanwhile, that Archvile is doing the same thing that I'm doing and is raising up some enemies. So I'm going to go into the big scary part of the level. Oh dear. Gonna make them fight each other. I'm gonna make some of these more powerful monsters start fighting each other, because that's what you want to do. Oh yeah, that's another the spell called Freeze that I've got here. Yeah, like that basically binds an enemy in place for a bit, and they can't attack. And it only lasts for about 10 seconds. But in that time, they can take damage, some of which will lead to end fighting, etc. So I think some of these cacos are down, which means I can raise them up. So now I've got 2 caco buddies. Ugh. I really need to take down this Revenant. Alright, I'm pretty well fixed for Resurrection mana right now. Alright, now we got that Revenant on our side. This Mancubus should go down pretty soon. Alright, good. Alright, now I've got both of them on my side. Let's get that second Revenant. Alright, now we are a force to be reckoned with in this area. Cool, so we still hear that Archvile back there. And he's probably got a big group of... imps on his side now. But if we bring our own little creature army around here, then we've got some heavy hitters that we can use to wipe out. Alright, yeah, and now that Archvile's getting into some fights. That's cool, I love it. Ow. Okay. And yeah, just to add to the chaos now, let me run over and trigger just, you know, if you're familiar with this level, this triggers a big teleport ambush. Oh dear. Okay, that Archvile managed to kill me. Alright, let me do that again. And actually let me pistol start this time. Or the equivalent thereof. Oh no, I already have yeah, I've already got decoy and stuff. So actually let's just skip. Let's just see if we can Alright, everybody fight that. Everybody hate each other. There you go. That's the good stuff. And even in like a normal Doom mod, this even in vanilla Doom, you're kind of running in this part of the map. You're kind of running around just trying to get as much infighting going as possible. You know. Oh dear. All right. Yeah, one of the quirks of this is that Resurrect does not work if there is a monster standing over the monster that the corpse of the monster that you're trying to resurrect. So that's a bit of a bummer. It does mean that you can, if your resurrection mana is really tight, then you might waste it, but that's okay. Or I don't know. I'll if I determine that that's a problem after more playtesting, then I can do something about it. Okay, so I've got a pretty good little army of higher powered monsters on my side here. So yeah, let's see if we can go back and take on... Oh dear. Alright, I'm hiding from this Archvile. Get it. Alright, I'm going to put the decoy right on the Archvile so that a whole bunch of monsters that are on his side try to attack through him, and now he just hates everybody. And everybody's just going to kind of mob him. Get some of these, let me raise up some of these imps. Cool. Can't hurt to have... Oh yeah, and I made the Archvile drop some health. I don't know, that's just an easy thing you can do with mods. Alright, cool. So yeah, we have retaken this area that was previously very nasty. And there's just stuff in here. There's just some more. Yeah, so now I'm like completely flush with res mana. There's a building that is hard to take out at the start of the map. Yeah, there's this Revenant here who's kind of guarding the staircase. And when you're all by yourself and you don't have a big army with you, it's kind of a problem. I mean, you can phase through it, but then you run right into these, and that's a problem too. You know, you can get some infighting going, but you're really just kind of picking away at them. Alright, so let me see if I can... Alright, good. Yeah, there we go. Alright, and now my Kako army is showing up. Oh! It's trying to phase, but I am stuck. Hold on a second. Let me have a look at the chat here. Yes, Evie has a good question. If you tame the Archvile and it resurrects things, will the new things be on your team? This only currently works on monsters that the Archvile can itself resurrect. So I could add a raise state for the Archvile. I think it might also mean that Archviles can raise other Archviles, you know, like enemy Archviles, which could be a problem. So maybe I'll figure out a way around that, because I do really like the idea of having like an Archvile as like a lieutenant, basically, who's going out and like raising up things that inherit the friendly flag that it has. So yeah, that's definitely cool. Alright, so see if I can get, I don't know. There we go. Alright, good. Take out those. Y'all have a nice good fight here. I love it. Yeah, I forget what I'm supposed to do here. Now, why don't you attack your... Oh, I see. I'm low on enrage ammo. That's actually... All right, and whoever dies here, I'm just gonna like raise to be on my side. Okay. Oh, right. I don't have the blue key, so maybe I should go do that. Where is the blue key? Oh, that's right. It's out by the thing. Pretty quiet in this corner of the map. Oh yeah, that's right. I never actually like triggered this. Well, cool. The more the merrier. Just everybody attack that. Okay, so meanwhile back in here. Are you a friend? You are not a friend. My guards are slacking here. They must have aggroed on some other target. Get it. Oh dear. There we go. Oh. Spectre being nasty. Oh dear. Alright, now I've got the red key. Cool. Alright, let's take out this group of jerks. Yeah. Yeah, just getting that momentary distraction via decoy is pretty valuable. Yeah. Okay. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, and now I'm out of decoy. Yeah, just mostly via luck, I've tuned it such that I've tuned it such that, sorry, the sound effects are getting to me here. Like, okay. I've tuned it such that, like, you end up being fairly hungry for all of the mana types, except freeze, which you kind of always have a surplus for. Yeah, freeze has not quite been useless enough for me to cut it. There was another thing that I added, like when I was initially building this, and it's before I really felt that, before I concluded that phasing was the correct solution to getting boxed in by enemies. I had like an air blast type spell that just did radial force outward, and so different enemies would just be all knocked back from you. Whoops. Oh man, this jerk. Somebody take out that Revenant up there. There we go. Alright. This guy's getting mobbed by 3 Cacos, so it's not long for this world. Okay, yeah. And just with that, I have taken out, 111 of the 119 enemies in this level. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so let me check the chat here. Danny says, what about something that rewards risk by letting you farm resources by being close to monsters? Or maybe it's not necessary, I'm not sure. I think a lot about stuff like, will the player be able to continue going, or will they get deadlocked if they can't find the resources they need? Yeah, I played in the past few days when I was implementing this, I played with that a fair amount, because yeah, I was looking for deadlocks. I was looking for tactical, common or not, tactical setups where the player just can't progress. And I played through several Doom 2 levels and, all of Doom Episode 1 and all that. And it all works pretty well. Like, I think if you didn't have phase, you would definitely be screwed in some places. And if you didn't have the shield, then you would be screwed in a few select cases like E2M8. But yeah, as it is, I haven't run into any situations where you're really... there's actually one right up here, but because it's optional, I'm not worrying about it too much. So yeah, this area has 1 Revenant, which obviously you cannot do that much about, especially not if you don't have any decoy ammo, as I do not. And then there's another Revenant right here, and... wait, where did that Revenant teleport? I dunno. Ow, ow. Quit it. Yeah, so even there I was able to just phase through them, but this was a pretty tricky setup. You wanna come get me? You gonna teleport? Ow. You gonna come out? Oh, you came out here, I see. Get him. There we go. Yeah, so tight spaces, there's a few kinds of tight spaces where... Let me open up map 8. And actually, let me try to pistol start it. You start, the equivalent of pistol start in this is you just start with Enrage, which I actually like the difficulty of. It's rough, but... Okay, this doesn't do me much good here. Oh dear. Yeah, this could get ugly. Okay. Just kind of hoping all those bozos just kill each other. Pretty good amount of infighting here. Alright, so yeah, I can whittle this down to something manageable, at least. Um, so yeah. Coming out here? I did not want you to come out here. Oh dear, now you're opening doors. There's this classic setup where the jerky Baron, but because I can phase through it, it's pretty okay. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know what... There's something wrong with my, like, phase through stuff tech here, because... Oh dear. I mean, I guess I can just shield this. Okay. Alright, I'll let y'all have fun with that. Oh, let me check up on the chat here. Yeah, I did some tuning of the mana drops, because yeah, I didn't want you to constantly be, you know, having gobs and gobs of this mana such that it's meaningless, but I also didn't want, because, you know, like in some cases if the player runs completely out of resources, they are really screwed. So I didn't want that. And I still don't have Resurrect, huh? I know what room I can go into to get Resurrect. Hi there. Okay. Oh, and I don't have what do I have here? Okay, I've got Resurrect now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not like pistol start from map 8 is like a common use case that you really want to support, but this is sort of uniquely irritating. Oh dear, okay. Alright. I do not have any replacements for the BFG. I could really use Decoy here. This is making me realize the unique tactical utility of Decoy. I guess there's that other room with the Pain Elementals in this map that I could... Oh dear. Okay. Okay, I've got gobs of res mana here, so I should just grab some Kakos here. Okay. Kako army is fairly portable. Alright. Yes. Yes. Get him, my pretties. Okay, where was it? Oh dear. Oh dear. There's just a big hubbub going on there. That's a good idea, Danny. Making the BFG replacement like a more area of effect version of freeze, like just like this entire crowd of jerks, just chill out for a sec. That would actually, yeah, I really like that idea. That would be very. I'm not looking to replace. You know, like there's no reason that this has to have exactly 7 weapons. But actually, I kind of want to keep the weapon set, like the ability set, like very slow, so that you're constantly switching out between useful ones, but an area of effect... Actually, maybe just single shot freeze is not as... Maybe I could just give freeze an area of effect, period. And that would make it more useful. And I can double up on weapon replacements as well, so like, you know, freeze replaces both the rocket launcher and the BFG, or whatever. Cool, my Kako army just teleported and showed up. I love it. Okay, paint elementals are kind of uniquely irritating in this case. Okay, cool. Now I've got decoy. I can tell everybody to worry about that for a while. Obviously, Lost Souls and paint elementals do not give you a body to resurrect, so they're just kind of a resource sink, which is sucky. But I haven't run into like a situation where the player is just really screwed in that situation. I'm kind of running low on health here. I don't really like that. Now I'm really low on health. Those resources do not bring me joy. I kind of want to get back to... Okay, yeah, cool. Now we're back here. Okay, so we're out of that situation. What? Oh, I think I need to do this. Yeah, that's right. Oh, tricks and traps. So tricksy and trapsy. Are y'all... Oh, I lost a Kako here. Okay. What have we got here? There's this room. Oh dear. Oh, I died. I kind of want to just resurrect. Yeah. I wish there was like a resurrect with like 10 health quick command, because like a lot of times when I'm testing, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to like sort of save state it. Could somebody just take care of this guy? There we go. Thank you. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the hilarious room. So yeah, you know, this is actually pretty much how you would approach it, you know, if you weren't like speedrunning or something in vanilla Doom. You just let these fools do a bunch of the work. Yeah, I should really think about summoning monsters, because it's potentially really cool. You know, I mean, there's plenty of games that let you... oh dear. What did I do? Okay, that is now Infight-a-Palooza. Oh, man. Took down the Cyber Demon already. But yeah, I don't know like how to manage, like, are there only certain monsters? Like, is each monster like a specific type? Is there, I don't know, like, do you summon in, I don't know, how is it different enough from Resurrect? I mean, the thing I liked about Resurrect is that it has you really staying focused on the monsters in a level as the resources. And I think that's really cool, you know. Like, you're not thinking about, like, oh, this many... I mean, you are thinking about, like, just your mana and whatever, but past a certain point, it really becomes about, like, the population of this level is kind of determines the terrain just as much as, maybe even more so than with Vanilla Doom. Are y'all all my buds? Yeah, you are. Yeah, I've got to fix, like, the heights for the little skull indicators are fixed at 50 units, and it looks terrible for taller creatures like these. So yeah, I'll need to fix that. Also, just like, you know, if I decide that I want to find a spriter for this, and, you know, just, you know, turn it into a proper thing. Hold on, let me catch up on the chat here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I completely misread what you were saying, Danny. Yeah, like just actual time freeze. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, Hexen has... I think there is like a global time freeze type thing. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I should decide if that or area of effect freeze is cooler. But yeah, I like that. Wireless Mouse says, being able to teleport to a corpse and telefrag a monster standing on it might be a useful tool. I don't want anything that feels too like that. That actually sounds a lot like the translocator. It's not exactly like, but it's kind of like the translocator from Unreal Tournament. And that ended up being such a direct damagey feeling thing. You know, like the way that I ended up using that really was like, you know, like, okay, this is the frag a guy if you aim correctly gun. So, you know, but I don't know. Yeah, there's probably something to there, like being able to teleport to a specific. Yeah. Can you make a spell effect differ by which type of monster or corpse it hits? Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm already defining custom pain states for, like, custom damage types and custom pain states for all of the different monsters. There wasn't, like, a particularly elegant way to do that. I tried to use inheritance. Didn't quite work. Switch places with a monster is cool. Yeah. Yeah, maybe spawning a monster costs health as well. Yeah, and I thought about the health economy as well, because like converting all health and ammo and armor into a uniform health thing that you can stack up to a relatively high number. That's worked pretty well in the testing that I've done so far. It's also not like super exciting or anything. One thing that I definitely thought about was the ability to like consume, like when you have a corpse for a monster sitting on the ground, being able to like consume it for health, right? You know, I mean that's a thing. That's certainly something that like a hellish monster would do. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, health is already pretty plentiful, so like I guess I would. Maybe I would get rid of all health pickups at that point and just say like, okay, you take down a Baron and that's equivalent to like a Megasphere or something. You know, or you take down like some weak monsters and that's more equivalent to a stim pack or something. That's definitely potentially interesting. It makes the balancing, you know, that sounds tougher to balance, but you know, if it's interesting enough. That also does lead to a situation where you could like have the population of a level tapped out because you ate it all. You know, if you were running into some tough monsters that were dealing a lot of damage to you, like if there was a bunch of chain gunners and you're playing this in Plutonia or something, yeah, then you might like be scarfing up every single monster you come across, and then you're kind of screwing yourself in like a soft failure state because you ate all of your soldiers, basically. You know, which I love. But yeah, there's maybe like these are all good suggestions and things to think about. Yeah, okay. I think I've basically, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's see. What are some weird cases? Something that I did for map 30. I was like, how is the player going to kill the Icon of Sin if they're doing this? And the thing that I decided to do there. It's a little special case. It might have to be kind of a read the manual sort of thing. But that's what your health taps out at, by the way, 666, just because theme. By the way, I should talk about fiction a little bit here. Yeah, just let these turkeys waste their time. Yeah, let me demo the hilarious Icon of Sin beating technique, and then I'll talk fiction. No. Okay, so basically, in Rage, i.e. the weapon that you start with and that you'll basically always have, it damages, it does, like, when it hits, basically, in Rage counts as a rocket only for the purposes of damaging the Icon of Sin. So, all you have to do I mean, this would be tougher if I weren't using mouse look, obviously, but yeah. So you can kill, like, it is roughly as hard to kill the Icon of Sin with this mod as it is to do it with the rocket launcher in Vanilla Doom. So that was my solution to that. Speaking of, as this story text prints out, though, I should talk about the fiction. So I was playing with this, I was implementing it, I was like, yeah, this is starting to feel kind of fun. This feels really unique, and the fiction that I quickly sort of realized would be very apt is that you are a renegade or exiled archvile. And I was thinking, like, okay, yeah, you're an Archvile. You've been stripped of your main powers. Like, you can't do the fire. You can't do the fire that damages people, which is, like, the most cool and fearsome ability. But you can resurrect, you can reclaim your resurrect ability, which is sort of analogous to finding the resurrect weapon in the level. And so I was thinking, yeah, okay, cool. What if you're a renegade Archvile? There was, like, some sort of power struggle in Hell, and you were cast out. They threw you under the bus, and I don't want to like have to make custom levels for this or anything. I think part of the enjoyment of this is that you can play any existing Doom level with it, and it all just kind of works. So what if there's this parallel story, and I could do this simply by replacing, like, finding all of the, like, just replacing in the text, in the localizable text lump for this ZDoom thing. I could just replace all of the interstitial level text to tell the story of this renegade Archvile on a quest for payback, and particularly because like I was testing this with Wad Smoosh, my every chapter of Doom in a single file sort of thing. And I was thinking, like, yeah, what if there was a story? I could just replace the story text for each of the Doom 1 episodes and then Doom 2's chapters, and then heck, continue on with No Rest for the Living and Final Doom chapters, and just like that's the full story for this Archvile. I haven't tried playing like Final Doom or any of the really hard stuff yet, but yeah, I don't know, like having an Archvile. And then once I started thinking about it, like, okay, the player is an Archvile, I was like, okay, that can be how I treat. I'm going to do a custom status bar for this. It'll have an Archvile face in it. It'll show like your unique stuff, and the visual theme for it will be kind of like Hell Rune based, where I think probably the different powers, instead of just using those little skulls that I was just using because they were already in the IWAD, like use different markings that look like Hell glyphs or something that signify enrage, decoy, resurrect, or whatever the cooler in fiction name I want to call them. Yeah, so yeah, I started liking the idea a lot more, and so yeah, the name that I gave this thing is Doom the Marked, in that you are the marked Archvile who has, like, I don't know, that maybe they carved a symbol into your head or something when they exiled you, and that same symbol is what appears above resurrected enemies to be like, yeah, this is my army. I don't know, like the fiction of it. I like that, I mean, Doom's fiction is sort of famously thin in some ways, but I liked that idea of, like, you've been exiled, but you were an important demon before you were exiled, and now you're role-playing a lot more of a general. I think that's sort of where what the play aesthetic of this feels like, and I like that about it. You're taking command, and you gradually like reclaim, and you're sort of raising an army against the forces of Hell that screwed you over or something. So yeah, so I think that's what I got. And I've been implementing I haven't tried this in multiplayer, like co-op. Theoretically, that could just get really, really overpowered. But I've been implementing it to support that anyway. I mean, I guess if you were in a level, I'm trying to think if I haven't tested it in multiplayer deathmatch yet, because that would be interesting if, like, you have a level full of ammo, full of monsters, and it's you and one other player or two or three other players, and you're fighting each other with those monsters. You're getting some monsters to attack your opponents or something. So I don't know. Maybe that's cool, maybe not. Cool. Danny says, what if you could fire spells to give monsters buffs, but they could also help enemy monsters, so you'd have to aim carefully? Yeah, I've thought about, like, yeah, you have resurrected monsters, and in some cases you can become quite invested in them. Like, if you've raised a Baron, like, that's a big wall of hit points that you can, do a lot with. And it would be cool if you could, do something with them. I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's like a... Maybe this is... so here's an idea that's maybe like... maybe... maybe there's like a Pokeball type thing that you can take a resurrected monster that you've got, and you can like transport it. You can be like, okay, I'm gonna like grab this Baron that I already killed as a hostile and then resurrected. I can then like grab it and it goes into my inventory, say, and then I can like just fire it out. I can carry it with me and even into another level, say, and then I can launch it back out into the world, and then boom, that's like summoning another Baron, a new Baron. That's kind of cool, because then you get some of that feeling of summoning. I don't know. Yeah, that's a thing. I don't know. It becomes very sort of comically Pokemon-like, actually. Yeah. So yeah, that's a cool thing. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I think at this point I've played this enough. Like, I was like, I'm gonna prototype this and sort of try it out and try out some different ideas. And I kind of think this is cool enough now to like finish. A lot of the finished stuff would kind of like, I would kind of want to do custom hands and sound effects and UI art, I could probably do the UI art, but I'm not really a good enough spriter to where I could do like player archvile hands or something. So I don't know, maybe I'll like just see if anybody is interested in collaborating or something, or I don't know. I also don't want to like spend full time on this, because I do want to get back to working on autobiographical architecture. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll post it on the forum somewhere. I guess I could link them to this video as like a demonstration. Yeah, so I think that's probably about all I've got. I mean, heck, I'm just streaming here. I don't know. Are there any levels that you want me to try out with this and see how hard they are? Because I have not, like I said, I have not tried playing a Plutonia level or something really just difficult. I guess I could just try playing Plutonia map 1. There's that level about a third of the way through Plutonia that is like all archviles, and I'm kind of assuming that would be like super difficult, but I don't actually know. Yeah, because you can't reflect. Yeah, hunted. Yep. Map 17 of Japanese Community Project. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh man. I haven't even tried. Yeah, playing this on like really tough user maps or anything yet. But I don't know. Like even this level from Plutonia is pretty tough. So let me see if I can. Not mess this up. Okay. Oh, that's right. Plutonia gives you the backpack right off the bat. It's pretty dope. Okay. Alright, I'm getting pretty handsome res mana here, but I don't have the res weapon ability spell yet. Alright. My memory for Plutonia is also not necessarily strong, so I might make some mistakes here. Where do I get just like where's the shotgun equivalent? No, I've just got these jerks. It's the super gross room with the jerks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is going to be tough because chain gunners. Oh dear. See, I want that resurrect. There we go. All right. So they're screwing each other up. Good. Oh man. Yeah, they're just going to take each other out. Oh dear. All right, let's not bother with that. Okay, interesting. Danny, by the way, for those who aren't aware, is making a cool mod called Shmup Doom that is That's basically just, I don't know, yeah, like it's just Doom with a shmup sensibility where the attacks are all like kind of energy based, and you know, there's like cool combo mechanics and like stuff like that. It's super cool. I don't know if they have it for download anywhere. Okay, this is just a big mess. What I really want is a shotgun, i.e. resurrect. Oh dear. Oh, that's that. Yeah, and I'm kind of remembering why. Oh man, I don't have squat now. Sorry. But yeah, Danny was saying Japanese Community Project Map 17 Bonus Fest, which I don't think I've played actually. Thinking of ways to make maps with hordes of monsters more playable by rewarding you for being aggressive. I think that's something that I'm interested in for this mod as well, because there's sort of like a very passive, like conservative, boring turtling style that I'm kind of doing right now, honestly. Like I ran out of that busy area with a lot going on because I couldn't do anything with this large mass of enemies in here. And yeah, I'm not getting... like a regular shotgun here. That is a bummer. I think I'm gonna have to go into the scary room with the crates in the arch file. Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, the thing that I played on a stream like a while ago, like a year ago or so, is Bonus Fest, Danny says. It's what gives you hit points for combos on by default. Yeah. Yeah, and I, like, yeah, I mean, something that, like, keeps you charging ahead and, like, pushing yourself to, like, risk. I mean, I definitely dig that, because I don't want this to be necessarily, like... I mean, there are going to be situations in this mod where players do just kind of have to like fall back and not be as wild as they would be. Jeez. Oh, okay, there's res up there. That's all I want. Oh dear. Oh man, I'm really hurting. Let's just get something going on here. Get some chain gunners. There we go. Now we got a Kako. Yeah, that feeling of being like hurt and not having a whole lot of resources is really cool. It's definitely one of my fave things about this mod so far, is just nice work, Revenant. Ah, yes, they love... These guys are just not very accurate, so they're having trubs hitting one another. It's adorable. Alright. Nicely done. Cool. Alright, yeah, so I got a handle on... I think I got a handle on this level. It's only map 1 after all. Oh, that's right, the whole blue key thing. I'm playing this badly. Oh dear. Okay. Well, yeah, I just got killed. I'll just resurrect myself. Who cares? Where is that blue key? Is it over here? Yeah, I think so. That's right. And I don't have any rage ammo, so now I just have to rely on resurrection. Ow, 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 ow. Cool. Oops. Do. Oh, right. I'm supposed to do this. Cool. Yeah, Danny's describing some of the stuff in Shmup Doom, Konami and Treasure, 16-bit Konami and Treasure games. Yep. Varied attack patterns for the monsters. Yep. Yeah, no, I really like that change. Changing the chain gunners so that they shoot a constant stream, a stream of fast projectiles instead of hit scan. That alone would definitely make. It would also be kind of cooler looking. But yeah, I heartily endorse that change because yeah, just getting drilled by heaps of getting drilled by massive numbers, and this is obviously the map set for it, you know, Plutonia, because there's just a constant brutal onslaught of chain gunners. Because they would still be quite tough. I mean, the same damage and the same volume of shots just means that, you know, they're putting a lot of damage out there. But I feel like it would be more bearable if it was streams of shots. All right, cool. Yeah, I do seem to have grabbed a large surplus of resurrect mana here, which because it feels quite cool when resurrect mana is very tight. Because you know it makes you spend your it makes you decide what to resurrect more carefully. And yeah, there are some WADs where you definitely have that. Not so here, though. Cool. Well, yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of goofing around with, oh, right, this area. This giant, terrible area. Ah, yes, I can deflect missiles back at him. Yeah. Oh dear. Is this going to end in tears? Oh, that's bad. Okay, yeah. All right. I think that's about all I've got. I have showed off this thing enough, but yeah, that is Doom the Marked, is what I'm thinking of it as. And yeah, if you have any ideas about it, I'll probably put this on YouTube and then like include a link to like a Dropbox download link for the mod itself, because it's only like a few kilobytes because it's just text mainly. Yeah, so yeah, you can download it, play it, tell me what you think, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.